Good evening, Bahamas, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Shasheena Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, it is an age-old problem, and residents in a local community have been agitating for help for years. Tonight, the Deputy Prime Minister is ensuring residents that every effort will be made to address this vexing situation. Sabrina Brown reports.
Residents of the Smiths Point community have been faced with beach erosion for many years, and they say it has been getting progressively worse. On Friday morning, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Urban Development, the Honorable Philip Davis, led a team to the area to take a look at the situation that has become a threat to that quaint settlement known for its popular weekly fish fry.
This is a matter that has to be addressed with some degree of urgency, because I can see for myself some of the degradation and the continual erosion that's taking place, and very soon, and not in not too distant future, all this road will be gone if we don't take corrective actions very soon.
A petition outlining the concerns of the deterioration of the shoreline was recently submitted to the government by the residents of Smiths Point. Clifford Smith knows all too well the severity of this issue.
This is outrageous. I mean, every year we lose about 6 feet. We lose about 6 feet of beach every year. And I can tell you, I remember when we had our shed on the beach is now about 12 feet out in the sea. That's how much property we lose in every year. And without the sea wall, we definitely will lose the road with the next hurricane. If we have even high wind come from the south, we would definitely lose the road.
Over the years, several assessments were conducted, but nothing was done to fix the problem. Minister Davis says he plans to change that.
There have been several assessments done by my ministry and other engineers. Mr. Cliff here was reminding me of that. We will be pulling them up, looking at them to see whether there has to be any tweaking. But as soon as I am back in Nassau behind my desk, urgent attention will be placed to bring corrective measures here.
There are just 2 months until the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, and the minister says as they work to resolve this matter, temporary measures will be put in place.
We will have some relief here for the residents by the hurricane season. If we only put boulders as a temporary measure for the season, and then go on and embark on the work that is necessary.
Now, the Deputy Prime Minister could not say how soon this problem will be rectified, but he did give residents the assurance that it will be given urgent attention. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
The Ministry of Tourism is continuing its efforts to strengthen its position as a major player in the global tourism industry. A group of private pilots who have been visiting Grand Bahama Island for the past several years returned to experience and become familiar with the state-of-the-art facility at the recently completed fixed-base operation. Shakara Trott has this story.
The Ministry of Tourism's Private Aviation Department welcomed a group of 25 top aviators. The private aviators have been dubbed Bahamas Ambassadors, and according to Chief Aviation Specialist for the Bahamas, Greg Rolle, the critical decision makers intend to spread the good news about the islands of the Bahamas in the private flying circles.
If a pilot lives, let's say, in Naples, they live in Naples, but they have access to a lot of pilots who live on the ground in the grassroots. So they could tell the pilot, say, hey, I'm going to go to the Bahamas, follow me. So we have ambassadors in Naples, Fort Myers, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, Orlando, throughout the state of Florida. And that is very, very critical for us.
Rolle adds that it's more effective for the private pilots to market this destination.
We may have one way of marketing, but when we talk to the American pilot, they don't get that message. But if you ask them, what do you think? And if you have a friend who could tell you how to promote your business that will increase traffic, you want to do it, right? So now we have this group of individuals who are willing to give us their personal and direct assessment on what to do.
The group met with the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Obi Wilshcombe, in the conference room, and he says the feedback was good.
Once it's done systemically, and once we ensure that when people come to the island they have something to do, and that our service levels remain high, I think we'll be very well. This is one of the most outstanding places we have now. This FBO is just outstanding. The service quality, the level is very high, and so it's going to be very good. And don't forget, one of the important considerations is the close proximity, the Bahamas to Florida. That's why our argument is we should not be in a situation where we're losing airlift and that we're losing the market. We should always be increasing because of the proximity.
The tourism minister says interest in this destination is certainly growing, and he is hoping that it will translate into increased business in the months ahead.
We're seeking now to find a way to cause for regular fly-ins so that you'll pop over here for lunch and families would want to come who have private planes. So this is a wonderful program, and the ambassador is going to help us promote the islands of the Bahamas and certainly the FBOs of the Bahamas.
For more than 35 years, Robert Arkin has been a visitor to our shores. He says he is pleased with the amenities and the northern hospitality.
They've developed the island so beautifully, and the amenities here, it's so much nicer to come over here because there's just so much more to do on a daily basis. And it's a family-oriented place, and it's also nice to come and just hang out with your wife without the family.
Shakara Trott, ZNS Network News.
The government of the Bahamas taking a consultative approach as the Bahamas Independence Committee Tell Us initiative made a stop in the largest settlement in the country this week. Sean Davis Rolle reports.
Tell Us 8 Mile Rock is what organizers invited them to do, and they came. One by one, residents and community leaders voicing their opinions about the outstanding signs.
I'd like to recognize Kurt Bodie from one of those that one of the streets would be named in behalf of, simply because, for one, he attended Martin School. He also attended April High School. But what he's done for plenty of people's lives that people might not be aware, like people like Funky D, Gino D, Therese, he is the one that's partly responsible for allowing these people to get the names that they are where they are today.
A magnificent man that is, who still serves today at age 94, and his name is Reverend Ralph Russell.
I'd like to also recommend Wilfred Butler in business, Roland Chappie Bartlett in business, and Jay Mitchell in music.
I want to recommend my brother-in-law, Tanko Wesley Tanko Williams.
Mr. Gibbs constructed the first basketball court, and with a $5,000 donation from Wallace Groves, a fence was constructed around the school.
Then among the nominees were the Daughters of the Soil.
One more than all would be Nurse Helen Anderson, who's definitely been an icon in the community of 8 Mile Rock and the island of Grand Bahama.
As a midwife, she also assisted in delivering many babies here in 8 Mile Rock. There are many babies that were delivered right at the clinic because they were not able to get them to the Rand Memorial Hospital in Freeport in time. So she served for 23 years. I also want to say that everything that my mother did, knowing her, she did not do it for any recognition. She did not do it thinking, well, one day they'll possibly name the clinic in 8 Mile Rock after me. She did it because of her love for what she did.
My sister Elma, and the same softball team that you talked about, she was a part of that as well. And also, she was the first Bahamian to ever get a gold medal at Carifta.
Miss Mary Morris. She's put in more than 35 years in the government service.
Miss Natalie T. Smith.
These are just some of the names they believe rank high among the unsung heroes of the West Grand Bahama community. Who will be among the honorees? Well, as the countdown continues to independence, we'll just have to wait and see. Joan Davis Rolle, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Joan. Now on to the crime beat. A 31-year-old man was arrested on possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply and the possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. Now, according to police reports, officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit acting on information went to a residence in the Santa Maria and Pinta Avenue, where they discovered a black Smith & Wesson pistol with 14 9mm ammunition, 13 wrapped packages of suspected marijuana, 1 block package of suspected marijuana, 1 Ziploc bag with suspected marijuana, 1 roll of plastic wrapping, 1 scissors, a digital scale, and $4,355.75 in cash. Now, the 31-year-old male was arrested and taken into police custody. He is expected to be arraigned before the magistrate's court on drugs and firearm-related charges. Investigations are continuing into this matter. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.